You feel it every day, that hollow echo inside, the sense that something is missing. Most people tell you to move on, or just be happy, but they don't understand. Dostoyevsky already knew why you feel empty. Every morning as the world is just waking up, you feel it. That emptiness gnaws at you, silent yet persistent. The laughter of others, the chatter of people around you, the constant flow of social media, it all feels distant. You watch them and part of you wonders why you cannot feel the same. There is a disconnect between your inner awareness and the surface-level happiness of the world. You are not hollow, you are awake. You have tried to explain it before. You've tried sharing your thoughts with friends, to articulate why the chatter around you feels shallow, why the ordinary rhythms of life fail to satisfy you. They smile, nod, sometimes dismiss you as overthinking or too sensitive. But this is not pessimism. This is clarity. You perceive the hidden layers of life, the subtleties that everyone else misses. And within that perception lies your isolation. The world is built to keep minds occupied and hearts distracted. Most people never confront the hollow spaces inside themselves. They fill them with routines, entertainment, shallow relationships, and constant noise. But you cannot. The hollow echo within you refuses to be drowned out by distractions. It whispers truths you cannot ignore, realities most people choose to overlook. That discomfort you feel, it is not punishment, it is the mark of someone capable of deep understanding. Fyodor Dostoyevsky, centuries ago, recognized this human condition. Through his novels, he explored characters whose depth of consciousness set them apart. Raskolnikov, Ivan Karamazov, Prince Mishkin, they all grappled with the weight of awareness, the burden of insight. Their solitude was not weakness. It was the natural consequence of being awake in a world designed for sleepwalking. Dostoyevsky understood that intelligence and sensitivity create isolation, and he gave it shape in his writing, allowing generations to grasp this subtle truth. Especially intelligent minds bear this weight. You notice patterns, contradictions, and injustices that others overlook. You analyze motives, see beneath facades, and sense when something is off. This awareness is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it grants clarity and depth. On the other, it separates you from those who cannot, or do not, see as you do. This is the paradox. Your mind is your greatest asset and simultaneously the source of your isolation. From a psychological perspective, what you are experiencing is natural. High intelligence, heightened emotional sensitivity, and deep reflective capacity often correlate with a sense of existential loneliness. Overthinking is not a flaw, it is a marker of a mind tuned to complexity. You notice more than the ordinary, demand more from life, and cannot settle for superficial comfort. This is why you feel emptiness where others feel contentment. Your standards are higher. Your awareness is sharper. The emptiness you feel is a mirror. It reflects not a lack within you, but a lack in the world around you. It shows the superficiality, distractions, and illusions that most people accept without question. And while it is tempting to view this mirror as a curse, it is in fact a gift. To feel empty in this way is to perceive depth and richness where others see only the surface. This is your awakening. Embracing solitude is essential. The world often frames solitude as punishment, but for the aware, it is liberation. In your quiet moments, away from noise and distraction, your mind can explore, reflect, and grow. You discover truths about yourself and the world invisible to the distracted majority. Solitude is the crucible of insight. It is where understanding, creativity, and strength are forged. People will misunderstand you. They may call you melancholic, strange, or detached. But these labels say more about them than you. Most cannot comprehend the depth of your awareness because they avoid looking inward. They fear emptiness, uncertainty, and complexity. You, however, have faced them and emerged awake. This is why isolation is necessary. It is the natural consequence of perception. Suffering is not accidental. It is a teacher. Dostoyevsky illustrated this through the struggles of his characters. True understanding comes not from comfort, but from facing the void, from confronting the inconsistencies and cruelties of life. Pain sharpens the mind, refines perception, and deepens empathy. It is in suffering that the aware discover the truths hidden beneath the world's illusions. Awareness is power. Realizing that you are different, that you perceive more than others should not depress you, it should empower you. Every moment of discomfort, every pang of isolation, is a sign that you are awake. And this awakening allows you to shape your life in ways ordinary minds cannot. You are not a victim. You are a participant in the deeper currents of existence. The hollow feeling within can be transformed. Channel it into reflection, creativity, and personal growth. Write, think, create, observe. Build structures of understanding that will endure, independent of society's fleeting distractions. What feels like emptiness can become the foundation of strength, clarity, and purpose. You are not hollow. You are a vessel of insight waiting to be filled with conscious understanding. Even in isolation, connection is possible. Seek others who share awareness, curiosity, and depth. Conversations with those who understand the weight of consciousness are rare but profoundly rewarding. You do not need to belong to the masses. You need to belong to minds that resonate with yours. Quality, not quantity, defines meaningful connection. Living with awareness requires courage. The world rewards conformity and punishes introspection. By choosing understanding over distraction, reflection over superficiality, you accept a life that is harder, yes, but infinitely richer. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the willingness to perceive reality, confront emptiness, and transform it into wisdom. So the next time the hollow echo inside threatens to overwhelm you, remember, you are not broken. You are awake. You perceive what others cannot. Your emptiness is proof of your awareness. Dostoyevsky understood this, his characters embodied it, and now you do too. This realization is not a burden. It is your power, your uniqueness, your path toward depth in a shallow world. Every time you try to connect, there is a subtle friction. Words feel hollow, gestures seem rehearsed. Even among friends, laughter sometimes rings empty, as if reflecting a world that does not understand your depth. You begin to notice the patterns. Conversations that skim the surface, routines that dull the mind, distractions that keep people asleep. It is not that you are lonely, it is that your consciousness cannot settle for the ordinary. And in that awareness lies your quiet rebellion. You watch people chase fleeting pleasures, thinking they are fulfilling some invisible standard. They fill their days with noise, social media, entertainment, trivial pursuits. And while they are distracted, you feel the silence calling, a whisper that questions everything. This is the paradox of intelligence and awareness. The very faculties that elevate you also isolate you. You see through masks, sense hidden motives, perceive the weight of unspoken truths, and this clarity cannot be turned off. Pain and beauty are intertwined. What others dismiss as suffering, you recognize as a lesson in disguise. To confront emptiness, to face the hollows of existence without fleeing, requires courage. Dostoyevsky's characters did not seek comfort. They were forced to navigate the contradictions of morality, the instability of human nature, and the abyss within themselves. And in that navigation they discovered the raw, unfiltered truths of life, truths most will never glimpse. It is tempting to envy the distracted, to wish you could drift along with them, carefree. Yet there is a quiet honor in solitude. The mind, left unoccupied by triviality, expands into spaces others cannot enter. Ideas form, questions arise, insights emerge. You are not merely existing, you are sculpting an inner universe, mapping the terrain of thought and emotion with a precision few possess. This is power, silent but profound, and it grows in the spaces most feared to inhabit. Every decision, every observation, every hesitation carries weight. You feel the consequences of inaction, the cost of ignoring the subtle signals life provides. Most live unaware, blind to the underlying currents, lulled by appearances. You, however, are awake. And being awake is not always comfortable. It is a constant negotiation between engagement and detachment, hope and skepticism, desire and acceptance. Relationships become tests of resonance. Superficial connections no longer satisfy. Conversations must echo in thought and feeling. You gravitate toward those who can match your curiosity, your capacity to probe beneath appearances. And when such individuals appear, the exchange is electric. Ideas spark, minds expand, shared awareness creates a rare intimacy. This is not about popularity, it is about alignment, about encountering minds that resonate with yours. Time itself becomes a mirror. Each moment reveals layers you cannot ignore. Observing the repetitive cycles of human behavior, you begin to discern inevitabilities, the patterns that govern choices, the unspoken truths that shape lives. With this knowledge comes responsibility. To ignore it would be a betrayal of your consciousness. To act blindly would be a denial of your perception. You are compelled to navigate life with intentionality, even when others walk unconsciously. There is a profound tension between despair and insight. Awareness exposes the fragility of existence, the absurdity of certainty, the weight of moral choice. But it also opens doors, the capacity to find meaning where others see chaos, the ability to derive purpose from observation, the power to cultivate resilience and clarity in a world designed for distraction. You are a witness and an architect, shaping understanding from the raw material of reality itself. Do not mistake this path for loneliness alone. It is solitude by design, a necessary distance to think, to create, to perceive. In this space, imagination and intellect intertwine. You see yourself and others with unprecedented honesty. The hollows you feel are not emptiness, they are conduits. Through them flows understanding, creativity, and the potential to influence not by force, but by example, by insight, by quiet mastery of thought. And yet, questions remain unanswered as they always will. What is the ultimate meaning of this awareness? How does one reconcile intimacy with the solitude of perception? Can the depth you have glimpsed ever truly be shared, or must it remain your private currency, your silent burden and gift? These questions do not weaken you, they sharpen you. They keep your mind alert, your heart alive, your journey purposeful.